3 points of articulation pod. Money in the Bank has been going for 11 years now, and we're back with some predictions. The 3 points of articulation predictions, to be precise, joined as per normal with Johnny Flashback.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very bunged up, as we said before. We're all a bit under the weather, aren't we? We've got the old July blues. Speaking of blue, look what he's wearing, Adam the Wrestling Man.
Yeah, sponged up doesn't stop me. I am limitless.
There we go. I feel symptomless, should we say, but still, it's all there. It's Money in the Bank, boys. Have you guys watched any of the build-up? Adam, will come to you first. Sort of weekly shows, SmackDown, Raw. What have you been tucking into?
I've actually caught a little bit of the catch-up of weekly shows for the first time since October. So, I'm definitely winning this.
Yes, indeed. Way ahead of me. I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown for a while. I think the last one I watched, Tamira and Natalia won the tag titles.
It's a dark day. No wonder you stopped watching after that. And somehow you're still top of the Fantasy Wrestling League, which unbelievable. Right, so 6 matches have been announced so far. Obviously, we're recording this before SmackDown, so anything that comes out we wouldn't know about. One cancelled match was Bianca Belair versus Bayley, which is now cast as Carmella on Smackers itself. So we start with AJ Styles and Omos. AJ Styles as tag team partner versus the Viking Raiders. Johnny, I'm going to come to you first for the Raw tag team titles. What are you going with and why?
I think the Viking Raiders are actually probably the strongest duo to challenge them. I just don't see them beating Omos at this point. I think they're going to have a big long run, like, maybe even a year or at least till SummerSlam, which is classed as a big long run these days. So, yeah, AJ and Omos to win that. You could maybe say Randy Orton and Riddle down the line may beat them too.
Yeah, going to SummerSlam would certainly beat the women's tag team titles, which is just getting badmintoned around at the moment. Badminton? Does anyone play badminton anymore? I'm using it. I like it. But yeah, you can't see past Omos and AJ on this one. It would be absolutely gutting if they destroy the Viking Raiders. I really, really hope that they don't, because the Viking Raiders, they don't need the win, but they need to look strong in this match. But it's definitely going to be a title retention.
Yeah, I think a screwy finish is the only way I can see both teams staying strong anyway. Styles and Omos for me, only because I think it is a bit too soon, isn't it, for all the Mania winners, should we say. Yeah, okay, bro would make the most sense at SummerSlam. So AJ and Omos for me. Next up, should we go with the women's Money in the Bank? So we got Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Ash, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Natalia, and Tubadur, TBD, to be decided. Adam, will come to you first. Who have you gone for in this one and why?
So I'm not going to speak about the to be decided, because there are things on the wrestling interweb which suggest who it's going to be. So I don't think that would be fair, just in case this goes out before it happens. So out of the 7 competitors that have been announced, I'll go for Natalia. No, I will not go for Natalia. I really want to say Liv Morgan. And up until we started this podcast, I was thinking Liv Morgan. But there's no reason to have built Nikki Ash up as much as they have with the kind of wins she's been getting. And her to hold the Money in the Bank would really keep up her gimmick of, can she do it? Can she become a superhero? Can she win it? So I'm going to go for Nikki Ash.
Yeah, well, that's a little more insight than I can give you. I think since we decide we're not going to go for the TBDs, I'm going to say Alexa Bliss with help from Nikki Ash.
Wow. I think Nikki Ash has been given these wins just as a red herring, which I think you've fallen hook, line, and sinker into it. I'm not sure who the TBD is. I haven't seen any spoilers. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan. It's the only story for me that makes sense. Looking at all of the people on the in the ladder match themselves. So Liv Morgan for me, I'm going to go with. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Speaking of mess ups, let's have a look at these two's rivalry. The main storyline for it has just been Rhea Ripley can't beat Charlotte Flair. Seems to be the thing for it. Johnny, who have you gone for and why?
The nature of me wants to say that it's going to be Charlotte again because that's just what happens in WWE. But I do think Rhea Ripley needs a good win over Charlotte, so I'm going to go for Rhea Ripley today.
Adam.
Yeah, again, same as last time with this one. This is the 50-50 one for me. I'm going to go the same. I'm going to go Rhea Ripley. Pretty much the same explanation. She needs it.
She does. I think I definitely agree with the 50-50 side of things, which comes in handy when you're having a duck race. So I've gone for 50-50 and the draw. I've put the draw in there as an option because why not? It's 2021. And let's have a look and see who the win's going to be. Charlotte's there with a unicorn on.
Oh, yeah, by our rules, you can't pick draw.
Good.
So
A good job he hasn't then.
It's a jolly good thing that Charlotte Flair won it then, isn't it? I probably would have picked Charlotte anyway, truth be told. You never bet against Charlotte Flair in a title match. It's just one of those things that you just don't do. So Charlotte Flair for me, because it makes sense for Rhea Ripley to get the big win at SummerSlam she's always wanted. As of the last year. Next up, we have Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. This will come about. I think Kofi pinned Bobby a while back. I'm pretty sure, and that's how rivalries start nowadays. Is that one person pins the other person, and that's how you get a title shot. So, Bobby's looked very strong up until Xavier Woods beat him last week, and Kofi Kingston just looked good going into it as well. So that's all in all. I'm going to go with Bobby, only because it could set up things potentially for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Adam, let's come to you next.
So I'm going to disagree with your statement that Lashley's looked strong. He's never looked weaker than the past month. And that's exactly what WWE have wanted to happen. He's lost a tag team match against New Day. He's lost to Kingston. He's lost to Woods. And that's exactly what WWE want. They want everybody to think that Kofi has a chance. Kofi has zero chance. Bobby Lashley to win and to move on to the next competitor.
Yep, it's going to be a full house with Bobby Lashley. You can argue that he does look strong based upon his last promo and how he's gone all serious in the last, on the last Raw. The thing with Kofi is what made it work before is that it was organic, it was natural. This time it just feels forced because they've got no other contenders, so we'll just throw a former WWE champion in there and write it off. It's Bobby Lashley to win.
Yeah, just hope for the best, didn't they? I think that's. But if you look at the Raw roster, I don't think there's anyone that would pose much of a threat at the moment, is there? We've had the Drew McIntyre saga. There's no one really there that I look at, and I think you could be a viable threat to Bobby Lashley. So interesting to see where they go. Speaking of Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's title shots. Ricochet, John Morrison, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kevin Owens, King Nakamura, and Seth Rollins. Johnny is going first. Who have you?
This has got to be the toughest one of the whole card for sure. I don't even know at the moment.
Do you want me to go?
If you want, yeah, go on.
Well, in my head at the start, it's normally one Raw, one SmackDown, isn't it? That's the way I always look at it. I went Liv Morgan. I'm going to go Riddle this time, only because once again, it makes the most sense with the Randy Orton storyline. He could be trying to prove himself to Orton. So that's my theory for picking Riddle.
Interesting. I think there's probably the most obvious person to win is Drew McIntyre, based upon the storyline that he can't challenge Bobby Lashley anymore. So he can win that and challenge the SmackDown champion. obviously Roman Reigns. But then again, it doesn't really make sense for them to be matched up because they've already done that. So another waste of what happened Survivor Series. I think there's an outside chance of someone like John Morrison winning this. And I'm going to go for it. John Morrison.
Jomo.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've seen any of his promos or his mic work at the moment, but for the kind of teenage or adult that still wants to be a teenager fan, it's amazing, his promo work at the moment. So, you know, it's an outside shot, but I wouldn't necessarily say you've got no chance there. So, yeah. It's a really hard one because you can see McIntyre going into a feud with Mahal, but it really wouldn't matter. He can still hold the briefcase. The smart money for the past month, I think, has been on Big E. But I don't know. Again, even Big E, I can't see him stepping up and facing Reigns. I don't think it's believable. So I think. Let's go for Rollins.
Oh. My theory before when I was going to pick Big E, my fantasy booking, Adam Hanslip fantasy booking style was obviously he has to join the New Day on Raw. He can challenge Bobby Lashley with the briefcase to try and get in to Raw if he's WWE champion. That was my fantasy booking if Big E was going to win it. But potential. Right, main event time. So Roman Reigns versus Edge. Well, she was the main event. We don't know fully, but it's the only one that's had a proper build to it in the last couple of weeks. WWE Universal title. The match that should have happened at Mania didn't for some reason. Reigns for me, I'm picking only because it's got to stay strong. It's got to be a big event for me for Reigns to lose the title. I can't see it being Money in the Bank. Adam, let's come to you next.
I hate that phrase that you just used. It's all that's wrong about wrestling. It's the only one with a proper build-up for 2 weeks. I hate that.
Is it wrong though?
But no, you're not wrong at all. But it's got to be Reigns. But where does Edge go after that? I just don't. I can't see where Edge is gonna go after that. So I'm guessing it's going to be via shenanigans. Maybe Rollins getting involved somehow, something like that. But yeah, Reigns has to keep it to set up big match against, Cena or Rock that they're predicting down the line.
One thing I've learned from things like FWL or predictions, you don't bet against Roman Reigns. So I'm going to say Roman Reigns. However, there's probably the best chance since his reign started that he could lose it, based upon that, there's the Usos on the outside potentially that could cost him the match accidentally, and then that leads to a short storyline and probably get it back quick if he did lose it. But you can't bet against Roman Reigns. So yes, Roman Reigns to win.
Yes, it would. Because I know we're not sure yet if the Usos are challenging for the tag titles, but that gimmick would work well for the three of them of tag champs and the WWE title. I guess, and also if Rollins does interfere, it plays well into your Money in the Bank prediction, Adam. So
yeah, because he could interfere, start a short rivalry with Edge, but obviously still have Roman Reigns on the sidelines thinking about it.
Yeah, they're all a good shout. To be fair, we could go in several different directions, which is actually a good thing because WWE can, although like their weekly product or some of their ideas are really stale. What happens at pay-per-views can sometimes not be a foregone conclusion, unlike AEW has been.
be a good finishing name, that wouldn't it? The foregone conclusion. But yeah, I think I get what you say. Obviously, with WWE, the avenues that they could go down for the Money in the Bank, it makes it quite an interesting pay-per-view. Obviously, with Nakamura being on quite a hot run as well, he could potentially be up there for one of the guys that could win it. And look at last year with Otis. Who would have predicted that?
Where we reviewed Money in the Bank 2011 the other day on the podcast, and we had the worst Money in the Bank ladder match, in my opinion. I think the women's match in this one could take that crown. You've got the likes of Natalya, Naomi, Nikki Cross to a certain degree, I can't see doing fantastically in this match. I just think it could be a scary bump fest for some of them.
Yeah, could be fun though.
Scary bump fest. Got a film called that. Yeah, cool. So that's Money in the Bank in the bag there, boys. Well, Adam, thanks for your predictions. And JF, Johnny Flash.
See you later. See you next time.
See you boys soon.